Welcome to our kickoff of our leadership conversations and cornerstones. Couldn't be more excited to be with you, and I'm really pleased that so many of you have joined us this morning. And I really am excited to engage with you and let you know a little bit about what we're thinking and get started here. Also, please share with your friends and colleagues what we've trying to assemble here. This is really about collaboration. It's about sharing of ideas, bringing smart people together that have a passion for leadership, that have a passion for business, caring for customers, caring for each other. That's really what this is all about. It's the first time we've done anything like this. I really want to thank the Florida Press Association and particularly Jody Bell and Jim Fogler, who brainstormed this and went and presented a proposal to the SNPA Foundation, which many of us have had a long relationship with, and asked them to support us and help us fund this and bring the technology to the table to make it possible. And I want to thank them too, because we wouldn't be here without that collaboration and support. So I'm very grateful to all that. By the way, I am Bill Barker. I hope most of you know me. I'm the founder of Barker Strategic Solutions. I've moved over to the consulting side of the business about a year ago, and it's been a real joy. I'll share more about learnings through that transition, becoming the product, and what it really means to lean in and really care deeply about a client, how to help that client move forward with nothing more than, your care and your sharing of your experiences and being honest about your observations. Those are things, some of these things I wish I could have learned earlier in my career. It would have reduced a lot of anxiety at times, but I'll share more about that later. Listen, really important that you participate with the chat feature you see here. Give it a try. The only way I know who's on, the only way I can really interact with you is through that chat feature. So I'm going to ask you to chat it up, right? Let me know who's out there. I want to see some friends. I want to call you out. I'm really excited to have this opportunity just to re-engage with a lot of people I care about, and I want to know who's out there. So please let me know who's there. That's your best way to interact. We can't do this without you. I'm just kind of the front, help narrate some of the conversation, coordinate some of the conversation. But we really are counting on you to bring the richness to this experience, sharing your experiences, telling your stories, really, really engaging. And I see some people popping in now. Robin Smith, thanks for being here. Tim Smart, you and I go way, way back, and I'm really glad to see you here. Robin Langton, longtime colleague. Poor Robin went with me from running a 14-person marketing department to being the marketing department at one time. So we've been through transitions. We know what it's like to lead through change, don't we? And there's my great friend, Emily Walsh. Thanks for being here. Huck, awesome. See you. And Bill Monopoly. Wow, my old boss. We've re-engaged here recently, and I'm just thrilled to see you. Great mentor of mine in my early parts of my career. So great seeing you. And Denise Martinez, thank you for being here. And Stephanie Bird, thank you. Keep it coming. We really are glad to see people joining us this morning. Hey, Kat, how you doing? Good seeing you. And we're just going to have fun with this. It's a new year. It's a new opportunity to think about our priorities and think about what matters to us and the things we want to take on. It's opportunity for really new beginnings, right? And I couldn't not think of a better time starting 2022 to bring leaders together to talk about how we're going to make this the best year ever, right? We've been through some interesting and challenging times, and everybody keep coming in. Glenn, good seeing you. Dave, good seeing you. Carrie, awesome. I was thinking about you last night. Carrie, you can't tell stories. Carrie goes all the way back to my Tampa Tribune days. But we're going to have a lot of fun in Orlando and Carolyn. Thank you. So when I think about 2022, with the things we've been through in the last couple of years, and I'll share with you this Omicron variant, be careful out there. I'm 2.5 weeks in and recovering from getting COVID, fully vaccinated, and actually was at a chamber event sharing the love with our community about what matters. I'm the former chair of our local chamber here, and myself and the current chair and the incoming chair, all three got it. So be careful out there. But it was a reminder to me the importance of understanding that we're going through a lot. People working from home, people concerned about what this variant might mean and how it interrupted. Hey, Jake, great seeing you. Interrupted their family life. It interrupted our Christmas. It made us pivot. We had to do Christmas on New Year's, and that really was a reminder as I was thinking about this series of what really is important, to be able to pivot, to be able to think around things that are unexpected and still bring joy to those, and still recognize that there are positives in everything we do, that there's opportunity in everything we do, there's good in everything we do. I embrace that from a very positive mindset. This is good. I'm going to have the opportunity to really spend time with my wife, who I actually gave to, and so she was able to join me in that, and we didn't have to quarantine from each other over Christmas. But it really was an opportunity to do that, and I want us to think like that around anything that comes at us. We're only human. We're all human. We're all alike, and we all can learn from each other. And what I hope to come out of this series more than anything else is we create a collaborative and a forum for leaders that really care about the people, really care about the values that we represent when we get in a position of authority, but more importantly, how we use those regardless of our position, regardless of where we are in an organization, for the betterment of everyone, because it's really about influence. We can influence, we can be supportive, we can help each other regardless of the roles we've had, and our experiences will mean a lot to each other throughout that process. I got to tell you, there's nothing better than when you're having a tough day to see somebody that you trust, stick their head in the door or walk around a corner or text you or something. It changes the whole dynamic of the day. And that's what I'm hoping to build out here, is a forum, a collaborative, and really a network of leaders, that this is day one of a lifetime of us continuing to develop and help each other, help our businesses, help our communities, and ultimately help our families and ourselves by being able to practice the art of quality leadership. I read something the other day, and you'll appreciate this. If you can't compete at the human capital level, and this is really what we're talking about, developing human capital, our people. It's not bad to talk about people like an asset, because they really are if you're running a business. But in reality, the only competitive advantage you can really bring to the marketplace is how well you leverage and how well you develop your human capital. Outside of human capital, you have to compete with fiscal capital. Anybody that has money, anybody that has resources, anybody that has access to the capital markets can compete at the fiscal capital level. It's our human capital that makes the difference. And that's what we're going to focus on over the next 26 weeks. I've been doing this for 35 years. I've been fortunate. I'm going to share a few experiences I've had along the way, tell a few stories. I love to tell stories. Keep these chats coming. Share some of your stuff too, and let me know who all's out there, please. But we're going to keep sharing these stories. But it's really, I got to spend quite a bit of my time in senior leadership. I was fortunate in that regard. But I would tell you, I started at the very bottom. I started in the mailroom of a newspaper, inserting papers by hand. I got a promotion. I was thrilled. All I ever wanted to do was make $10 an hour. I thought I would be rich. I got the opportunity to run a labeling machine, and went on to be a pressman. And somebody saw something in me, frankly, and gave me an opportunity and encouraged me to continue to get an education and never stop learning. And it worked out pretty well. But we're going to talk a lot about that, because we got to lead from all levels of the organization. We're going to talk a lot about 360 leadership too, and really how do we lead from the middle, regardless of where you set in the organizational structure. It's really about bringing our passion and our care and our energy and our knowledge to bear for the collective good. We're going to start today and give you a little introduction into it. I will promise you we're going to keep it to 20 minutes. A lot of people say, Barker, can you keep anything to 20 minutes? Well, we're going to. And it's going to be for 26 weeks. And the exciting thing about this is at the end of this 26 weeks, you're going to have a great opportunity. We're going to culminate these series with the Capstone project. And anybody that's been through a development program, leadership program, a market development program, many times we end those with a Capstone project, actually taking the learning and the conversations and applying that. And that's a great way to practice that skill of application, because it's not about learning. It's about taking the learning and being able to apply it. We all know a lot of people that are really smart but can't come in out of the rain. The reality of it is, if you can't apply your learning, your experience, your put your passion to work, your energy to work, it's really for naught. So we're going to give you the opportunity to practice that craft, to use the art of leadership, but also the science and the techniques of leadership to come together as a collaborative, 20 to 25 people, and we're going to try to solve an important industry issue. One of the things we're going to encourage you to do is to send myself or Jim or Jody Bell an email that highlights what you would like for us to address, the things you feel like this industry really needs to get their arms around, what would move us forward. And when we talk industry, we're talking the context of leadership, really. We are focused on the media industry because Florida Press Association, SMPA Foundation are making this all possible. We got leaders from across the spectrum. And what I love about that is we can share experiences that are common and those that are different based on the segment of the market that we operate in. But at the end of the day, we want to solve a problem to make our media stronger. I'm a big First Amendment guy. I believe our democracy is dependent on a quality media. And part of the reason we're focusing this on market development is because without the resources to carry that media forward, our democracy is going to be challenged. We want to create pathways to do better work, or not better maybe, but in some cases maybe better, but to really engage with the marketplace in a way that businesses see us as a great solution for growth. At the end of the day, no matter what business you're in, you have to recognize that we're really trying to recognize that community development is important to any business that engages in the community and expects consumers to engage with their products or services. And the second side of that, then, in our cases, we then help those very businesses grow. And that is going to be an important part of this conversation. So look for more information from Florida Press Association through their channels of communication about the Capstone project. Email myself, and Jim's going to put our emails up in the chat. Email myself or others about ideas you'd like to see covered maybe through that Capstone project. But mark your calendar for August 3rd through the 5th of this year, 2022, to be in Ponte Vedra, Florida for the Florida Press Association annual meeting. I look forward to seeing everyone there. The good news is I hope you can all be here live, but we are going to record these and they will be up on our own special YouTube channel. So you can share them with friends and colleagues and others if you think it's worthy. But you can also then go back if you have to, you're out trying to grow the business and you can't make one of the sessions, you still have the opportunity to participate and hear about that. Every Wednesday, I hope you'll be here at B Square, 20 minutes starting at 9 a.m. And I promise you're going to hold on to the 20 minutes. We're going to cover 5 modules after today, and each of those modules is going to have 5 lessons. So if you do your math, we're going to have 25 lessons that will culminate in the 26 collective weeks. At the end of that, we're going to have that Capstone project. Next week, module 1, we're going to kick this off really getting into deep about leadership. We're going to talk about your leadership style. How do you think about style? How do you think about approach when it comes to leadership? And we're going to break down what it means to lead. And that's next week's session. What does it mean to lead? I mean, think about terms like listen. Think about terms like being essential, understanding your essential elements of your business, editing out the noise, editing out the non-essential things so that you can focus on the priorities, the aspects of your business that are really going to create competitive advantage. Think about application. We've already talked about that. Knowing a lot's great, but if you can't apply it, what does it matter, right? And all of that adds up to being able to actually deliver results, right? So we're going to get into that heavy. After that, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the way I think about leadership, what I've learned over the years related to some of the programs I've been through, how I think about the values associated with leadership. And that's where I hope to have a lot of engagement around it. We're going to talk about how do we inspire the vision? How do we model the way? How do we encourage the heart? We're going to talk about the very, very important aspect of having an environment, a culture to challenge the process. I'll tell you, that's the one that I see is probably the hardest for most. And then when you do all that really well is how do you really unleash the power of an organization that's truly enabled and believes they have a right to win and they have a right to have a voice and they have a right to participate. Those sound easy, but let me tell you something I've seen very few times that all 5 of them can be done consistently and congruently, but I'll promise you, if you can do those consistently and congruently, you cannot fail. That I believe that wholeheartedly. Then we'll get into mastering a few things. We're going to talk a lot about relationships, how to master relationships, how to leverage those for the greater good, talk about the concept of trust. We're going to talk a little bit about leading from the middle like we talked about. Then we're going to get into mastering the aspects of uncertainty and complexity. Oh my goodness, is that not on the tip of everyone's tongue, at the top of every everyone's mind right now. We're going to get into that pretty heavy. I'm going to bring a lot of guest speakers in. Trust me, don't worry. You're not going to have to sit here and listen to me every week. I've got a good network of very experienced and smart and caring people, and you're going to get to hear from a lot of them. And many of them have much more experience than I do, and you're going to enjoy hearing from them. And when we get into these kind of complex topics about how to unbundle the organization and bring simplicity to very complex things, to understand the essential elements of that so that we don't get distracted with the noise and email and things like that, and practices that you can do. How do you really think about your most important activities, most valuable activities? We're going to do a session on MVA's most valuable activities, and I think you're going to find that to be great. How to even use your calendar as an advantage. Then we're going to talk about mastering coaching. We're going to wrap it all up with how do we master business in and of itself. The goal of this program is really simple. We want to create a network, a forum of leaders like I talked about, to interact, brainstorm about leadership and business concepts, and build leaders. And I mean, when we talk about this is really mechanical. We want to build leaders with a real special emphasis around business development. I've heard a lot of people talk about sales. I've heard a lot of people talk about, news and all this other, but really we want to think more about business development. I've never really ran into a lot of people that really truly understood that our job as an executive, our job as a seller, our job as an editor, our job as a writer, a distribution person, a pressman like I used to be, we're still really about bringing the skills and the assets we had around how do we develop our business to have an advantage above anybody else trying to occupy that space. And that's very important. And Jody just reminded me, also questions you may have that you want us to address in future sessions, throw some of those in chat now so we can start thinking about those elements. Anything you want to hear about, anything you're curious about, throw it out there. Part of what got us going on this was a story I read in the Wall Street Journal a few months ago about 700,000 sales jobs open in America. And a few of us started talking about that. We started talking about it, to be honest with you, from a business perspective. Could we solve that problem and create a business around it? And in studying that, it was interesting because so much of that was because people didn't want to feel the pressure of sales. And sales had that connotation related to it of sales pressure. You hear it all the time, right? Have the point at the tip of the spear for revenue. If you never had that revenue gun pointed at you, you know what I'm talking about. But in reality, it's really about consultation, right? So that's why we want to talk more around what is the real role of everybody within an organization. And this crosses over whether you're in, I've got friends that are going to participate in this. They're in the travel business. I've got friends that participate in this and then retail business. And what I'll tell you is I've moved over into the consulting business. Everything's the same. It's all about the human. It's all about retention of your customer, of your people, building and developing them, creating confidence and courage to be out there, be critical thinkers, and develop deep networks within your communities, those types of things. It crosses over every business, and we're going to dig into that deep. We're going to ultimately come around to trying to get to the concept of level 5 leadership, like we talked about. How do we really recognize that it's bigger than ourselves, service above self, and really being that servant, to each other in our communities and our clients. Each lesson will have about 15 minutes of a conversation around a key topic, and then we're going to close with the takeaway for the week to give you our kind of perspective, what we hope you heard that day. We are going to ask you to reflect and challenge you to commit to one thing that you'll change or work on as a result of the lesson. And I would love to hear from you on that. What something that you thought, that struck me. That was good. I really appreciated that. And I'm going to work hard on it. I would encourage you today to begin to think about how do I develop a relationship and start thinking about a relationship that you've been wanting to go and develop further and go do that. Periodically, we're going to have a giveaway like I talked about. We're going to start today. So this book right here is a great book. John Maxwell is a well-known leadership writer, and many of my friends, and myself included, that have been in the leadership space for a long time, read a lot of John Maxwell's work. This daily readers is a leadership tip, one a day for 365 days. Get up every day, be inspired by a tip for the day, a thought for the day, and it will make you a better leader. I promise you. So I'm going to encourage every one of you to get this, share it with your friends. Tim Smallrick, you are the winner today. You are the first one to get into the chat, and this book is coming to you. Just make sure Jim has your address, and that book is going to be yours. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed today. I hope this got you excited. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, ask them to be here. I got to tell you, I am so excited to be on this journey with you. I hope we can build out this vision of having a great leadership network, a great collaborative, and we're going to do this every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock and Eastern time. And remember, August 3 through 5, 2022, Ponte Vedra, Florida, beautiful part of Florida. Be there or be square. And I hope you have a great remainder of your week and lead on.